Ende by asim ko bosin keta mana na yima asim kan ko echikwelu ya zelu. Dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Eastern News 24 bụ ebe anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ihe na-eme na obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasịta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, ọ bụ na ya bụ ụbọchị izi gị ị na-agafete n'iru akwụkwọ afọ chanel anyị, kaba alụ ka ị sọbskraibụ and turn on your notification. Maka gịnị? Anyị na-etinyekwanụ update daily gbasịta maka ihe na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, na gbasịta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, ya wetara unu n'iru akwụkwọ bụ ife anyị na-akpọkwa evening tea ka anyị ji maka ya, ka anyị ji mara ya. Anyị na-akpọ ya evening tea. Ife a bụ Biafran Prime Minister in exile were ife were ịgwa ụmụ Igbo. Unu ga-esi ya bụ ife n'ụdị nke gị, ị ga-esi ya bụ ife ịkaba alụ kwuo efe ichelu gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile Biafran Prime Minister kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị na-akpọ evening tea. You can say drop your own comment. All right, over to you, sir.
Going in wide-scale systematic killing of the civilian population, and again, specifically targeting the IPOB. That was also acknowledged. It's being examined. And again, we are requesting that they formally open an investigation and look into what we are identifying as a genocide that's being committed by the Nigerian government and extremist Fulanis against the indigenous people of Biafra.
Thank you very much. You said it has been acknowledged, and you are waiting for the ICC to open investigation. So I just want to for just a clarification. Is it that when the application is filed, they have to be after the acknowledgement, they have to now open the investigation for that particular case?
Well, what the process is that they have to seek formal approval from the pretrial chambers to do that. What we are doing is providing them ample evidence to justify that request to open an investigation, and most specifically looking at the, again, wide-scale and systematic killing of the civilian population, which is a crime against humanity and, quite frankly, genocide that we believe is being committed against indigenous people of Biafra.
All right. So when this thing is filed, is it like something that anybody can ask and get information that, some kind of complaint or application has been lodged at the ICC? Is it something that anybody can ask question and you get some information or some kind of feedback from the ICC?
Well, we have gotten written responses, acknowledgement, as you typically do, and we've also gotten responses directly from the Office of the Prosecutor. And it is a process, and as you can imagine, we collected very sensitive information, and it's confidential. Certainly they have all the details, but it's not something that's publicly and readily available to the public for obvious reasons. We have confidential sources of information and evidence that needs to be protected, but the ICC is well aware of it, and they have that, and it's their obligation to examine and look at that, and we've done that under the protection of the ICC, so that sources and witnesses and methods and operations are not inadvertently disclosed or discovered, to protect the individuals that are involved.
Yeah. All right. So we, the last time you were here, and I have also been privileged to see the release from your group. There are some other organizations you have mentioned that that were communicated officially. So could you brief us about them, like for the Committee on Human Rights at the UN and all that, and then also you mentioned about the United Kingdom. Let us take it, step by step. Brief us about the Committee on Human Rights at the UN. What do you intend to get from them?
Absolutely. This is a process, as you know. You have to educate people and make them aware of this. And this is aware of actually what happened. And that is now coming out, as you've seen the recent determination or finding in Kenya, where that in fact had borne fruit. So again, this is a process. This is what we're doing. It doesn't happen overnight, but you have to understand what needs to be done in the process in which to pursue. That's exactly what we're doing.
Thank you very much. And when I look at the second filing, the second filing to this ICC, I noticed that there is this BWGG has fully communicated with the Foreign Office in the United Kingdom regarding both the ICC and the UN filing, and continue to seek increased cooperation from the UK regarding the unlawful rendition of IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Can you give us a little bit more in-depth comment? What is it that you are trying to get from the UK Foreign Office? What are we expecting from there, from your experience?
Well, since the leader, Mazi Kanu, is a British citizen, we have every right as the legal representative for Mazi Kanu and on behalf of the IPOB in the United States, and actually as an organization, because he signed the agreement with us, not just in the United States, but globally. So it's our obligation to keep them posted and informed of what we're doing to the extent that we can. So we did in fact provide a redacted copy of the referral, which they received and they acknowledged, and it has gone into the human rights section in the UK, and it has been shared with the African desk, and also has been shared with the appropriate offices in The Hague. So they are taking this very serious, and again, it's our job to inform them. We want to keep them aware of what's going on and keep them engaged in what's going on so that they can support making sure that justice and accountability is sought on behalf of the IPOB and certainly Mr. Kanu.
Thank you very much. And just for our viewers, I would want to bring this to the screen. One moment. When you look at this, what is on the screen, this is the first communication on the 15th of September 2021 from your organization. This is 15th of September, as you can see, 15th of September, Washington DC. Go down to the second page of this document. One moment. There is something here that says Congressman Chris, ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Africa, stated genocide is happening right before our eyes. The United States and international community must do more to hit the violent because the dire situation on ground warrant it, and because the people of Nigeria deserve to live in peace and freedom with their fundamental human rights guaranteed. Now, the congressman, related to the congressman's statement. Now, this is from Chris, and this was in September 15. 2021. Now I'm going to bring another statement, from Chris. I think in October. Then after that I will ask you the question I want to ask. So let us go to bring this to the screen. That was what I just read now was in September, and then going forward to October 2021, the same Congressman Smith, now did not only just talk about Nigeria. He did not only talk about the and all that going on in Nigeria. He did not only talk about the genocide going on in Nigeria. One moment, I don't know if you can see. Are you seeing anything on the screen?
I am.
You see the document on the screen?
Yes, This is small, but I can read it.
Okay, I have to try to make it more. I think.
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
All right. One moment. So when you look at, what I've just read now, previously from September 15, during when you filed the first application to the ICC, then this is now the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission hearing, counter-terrorism and human rights, striking the right balance. This on Tuesday, October 26, 2021. And this is the remark. And in this particular conference, Congressman Chris made a very remarkable comment where he said, meanwhile, the government about libeling group agitating for separatism, such as the indigenous people of Biafra or IPOB terrorists, and using this libel to justify as a justification for repression. Now, this why I'm just I think I have to read this from the beginning. I have to read this from here so it will make sense to people who are listening to this broadcast. Now, he said, we also see in Nigeria the selective use of counter-terrorism to attack political opposition. Nigerians on a daily basis witness the impunity which so-called Fulani herdsmen, extremists who share an ethnic and religious ethnicity with President Buhari and the Fulani elect, which now dominate all key institutions in Nigeria, and it is also well stated, dominate all key institutions in Nigeria, attack predominantly Christian villages in the Middle Belt. State security forces which are obligated to protect civilians are at best indifferent or at worst allegedly complicit in the ongoing and sustained attack. Now, before this is what is in your head probably, but I want you to pay a very very emphasis to this particular political opposition, where Chris now said here, attack political opposition. And I remember that in the first document that I showed, which you filed on the 15th of September 2021, this particular statement, the exact word, was in that filing. You may not know this, but I'm just telling you because I've just researched and scrutinized these two documents. I find out that in this particular statement from Chris, he used the exact word that that were in the document you submitted to the ICC. Now, going forward, he continued to say, meanwhile, the government has no qualm about libeling groups agitating for separatism, such as the indigenous people of Biafra or IPOB terrorists, and using this libel as justification for repression. Now, I know a lot of people will be wondering why am I reading this. Why I'm reading this is that I have just connected the statement of Congressman Smith, which he made earlier, maybe I think after, that was September or so, and now coming forward to October, he is mentioning IPOB. And so is it that these are part of the job you are doing for the indigenous people of Biafra? Because I see some kind of similarity in the statement coming from coming from Smith and the document submitted to the ICC. And just before people think it is a propaganda, let me go straight to pull that particular first document that your group was submitted to the ICC. So because we are just talking about you file a document to ICC, you communicated the UK office, you communicated the UN Human Rights Office and all that. So you see that there are other organizations, other individuals, powerful people in the United States and around the world that your organization are dealing with in this particular case. To as is it as influencer or as a lobbyist or what do I call it? So what do you have? Do you want to make comment on this? This may be a very delicate one, but do you want to make comment on this?
No, it's this is part of our experience, is working with people that are interested in these matters and can make a difference. Congressman Smith has been a congressman for 40 years. He has been an advocate of human rights his entire time. He has been one of the staunchest advocates for human rights and seeking justice and accountability for people worldwide, and certainly Africa. And he's been the chairman of the Africa subcommittee for years. So he's very knowledgeable of these issues, and certainly we collaborate with him on these issues. But since we've been engaged, we are known, we are respected, and we are educating them on what's going on in Nigeria. And certainly our client is the indigenous people of Biafra. We care about all people. We care about anybody that is being killed. But right now, our main focus is to make sure that we can reach out to as many organizations and people that have influence in addressing the injustice and making sure that there's justice and accountability for the indigenous people of Biafra. We seek that for everyone, but right now we're seeking justice for what is happening against Mazikanu and also the indigenous people, in larger part the indigenous people of Biafra. So it's clear to see when you point this out, this is what's going on. Nobody else is being labeled a terrorist. It took almost 12 years to label Boko Haram as a terrorist organization. Why aren't the Fulani extremists being labeled as a terrorist organization? They are killing people every day, and they have for years. So why all of a sudden it took 3 days to label or prescribe the IPOB as a terrorist organization. Nobody else in the world recognizes them as a terrorist organization. They are in opposition. And when people are getting killed, they resist. They fight back. So that's, if you want to call that a terrorist organization, let me just say this too. When I dealt with the special rapporteur before she left, she said when she was over in Nigeria, there were human rights violations ongoing throughout the country. It was, where do you start? One thing that she left in my mind, and she indicated to me, that the IPOB was one of the largest opposition groups and seemingly effective opposition group in Nigeria. So that's been my judgment and my observation, not just mine but others, that designation seemed to be more political than it was based in fact, because there are other organizations that are killing people on a daily basis over there. We've seen it, we've documented it, and we've reported it. Amnesty International has documented this. They issued a report in August of this year documenting this. So this isn't just BWGG, but our job is to educate, inform, and seek justice and accountability for the indigenous people of Biafra, and that's what we intend to do, and that's what we are doing.
Thank you very much. And then, also we saw in Washington time some time ago where they wrote something about opinion about indigenous people of Biafra. Because of your comments now reminded me about that particular article about opinion from a university lecturer or professor from one of the university in the United States. And we also noticed that your group intervened is it that whenever this kind of thing come up, in order to discharge your duty about defending and representing IPOB and Biafra people, what do you have to tell Biafrans? What happened in that? Because I have a document which you communicated to that university, and I have the document here. So did you receive any communication or anything like that from them?
We immediately contacted the editor. We did not hear back, but we immediately responded in writing, rebutting that. This article that came out, there was what we thought a lot of misinformation, and our job is to provide the facts and the truth, and that's what we do. So when something comes out that is seemingly inaccurate or false, at best misleading, it's our responsibility to respond to that. So we did, and that's exactly what we did in kind. And nobody knows exactly the genesis of that article, but it was very suspect that it came out of nowhere, and we didn't get any response back at all. So we think that the article was misleading, it was false, and again, nowhere else does anybody else recognize the IPOB as a terrorist organization. And let me just go one step further. 20 April of this year, the UK...
ndị be dalụli nnenu nke ukwuu ka unu si wee gbaa mbọ wee na-esore n'ife anyị na-eme n'ime akwụkwọ dị iche iche. Ọ bụ ife m chọrọ ikwu bifo ma alapụ unu ka unu tinye alụ nke unu ife uche n'iru akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ya bụ ife dịka o si ada and dịka o si akpọtụ n'iru akwụkwọ. Biko wa ajụ m chọrọ ịjụ, biko ndị Igbo ọma na-ege ntị saanụ ya bụ ajụjụ. Ọ ga-edugokwu n'oge anyị akpọ n'ụwa anyị meeting nke ịbụọ jụọ ụwa anyị nwanne anyị nwoke anọ n'ụlọ nke mkpọrọ ebe a ka ọ ya anọzi. Ọ ga-edugo oge onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo ya pụtata ebe ya bụ ife ọnụ maka ya bụ ife akarigo. Nnamdi Kanu nwere ife o mere n'iru akwụkwọ. Tosifo ihe ọjọọ mere n'iru akwụkwọ bụ na ọ sị na ọ chọọzi ịbụ onye Naịjirịa. Tosa ewa bụ ife ọjọọ o mere. And ndị ọha eze niile ma ndị niile were na-ekwuchara ndị Igbo ọnụ fa, nobody is doing something about it. Nobody is doing anything about it. Ife a na-asụ bụta ọsọ ogologo oyibo. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu bụ the leader of indigenous people of Biafra IPOB si na mmegide na-emegide ụmụnne ya dịrọzi ya alụ mma si nye ya Biafra ka ọ na. Okay, to tell you that what that thing Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu n'eziokwu, since eji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu check the system of Nigeria till now, the system na-ebezi akwa, everything is collapsing. Always able to phone and the more you hold him, the more the economy destroyed. He said these things. Obuli fomu na ipota ine kubo kama keje yondi fulani na major on the fulani. Chefo no ha buzo we major ndi Igbo. Oweri ndi Igbo mele ndi fulani. There's nothing an Igbo man. What if Igbo man mele fulani? Ndo aneze sina neji yo ndi fulani about the killings in 1914. Na jubikon oweri ndi Igbo mele fulani ndi fulani. First from the jail we conquer si Hausa niile we bata ka conquer kwuora n'Igbo ofu onye pụtalụ bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu si na nke ama mme na ndị ka ife adịlọ achọbịa ka egbuo onye Igbo ewere nwanne ya lee. Ya bụ ife bụ ọ bụrụ ihe nji maka ya wee bịa ma ọ bụrụ na ego ọnụ m n'ife anyị na-ekwu n'iru akwụkwọ. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu stand with justice, equity, and fairness. Onwe ndị emebere iwu iche ọbụla ajụ na-ajụ ya Sunday Igbo akwa ejidere ya lapụ ya akwa the same thing Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-azụ ka ọ na-azụ ndị Igbo kpọọ n'owu na meeting jụọ owu na-ajụ ọgwụnakọ ha m n'ọnụ daalụ dị na-ekwusi na-esore anyị ọ bụla nke a bụ mbọsị izu gị na-abịa n'iru akwụkwọ esore na Morning Tea na Eastern News 24 kabarụ ka ị subscribe and turn on your notification ka ị lapụ imisi for update dịka anyị na-drop ya n'iru akwụkwọ oge niile daalụnụ ụmụnne m ọgwụnakọ ha m n'ọnụ